Jace and Ziggs and all these strong laners. It felt like they were able to find a lot of opportunities.
Well, I'm pretty sure, certainly if they get the opportunity, they'll first pick Rumble, but I don't know what the rest of it looks like for EnVy.
Yep.
Varus ban for TSM, Rise Rango over for EnVy, so no surprises yet.
Big question is also, third ban for EnVy, is that Camille now? Do you actually let Camille go through as Hauntzer has shown that he's willing to pick it? He's very strong on it. Game 1 did not go their way, but still early lane did go Hauntzer's way. And certainly in Game 2, it was him dominating Seraph the whole way through.
Good read, because there's the last ban from EnVy. They do take Camille out of the picture. Did TSM adjust with maybe a Rumble ban, or they just stick to more of a meta ban here as well? EnVy have had the opportunity to target ban a little bit here, and there's the J. So that's kind of the other half of that I like from TSM, but they're taking away one of those big elements from EnVy's comp in Game 1, but EnVy, as expected, just snaps off Rumble.
Yeah, I'm just going to go right back to it. And as you said, this does become a little bit more difficult, because if you don't have a good physical damage mid laner or high physical damage jungler, it can become pretty easy to itemize as a tank if Hauntzer wants to go to that against a composition like this. And Jace is one of the best physical damage mid laners, not the only one, but if LirA's on Lee Sin, that's not a lot of DPS, and if Hauntzer's on something like the Maokai or the Nautilus, he can itemize pretty well.
Well, interesting to see a first pick Ashe here in this round for TSM. It was banned both games, so you can clearly see that they are pretty heavily for this kind of lane. I mean, Lulu also getting picked up. TSM and EnVy have shown a lot of respect to these picks, and TSM are now going to get both of them.
Yeah, there was actually a couple Lulu bans in a row the last 2 games, so Biofrost should be getting this. It's possible that it could go to a solo lane, but I really doubt it. We have not seen that yet in quite some time. I know there was a while ago, there was some of the Lulu buffs that were kind of intended to probably increase its strength in the solo lane, like the Q got buffed and things like this, but still, it has mostly shown up as a support.
Balance here for EnVy, though, is good. Jhin and Graves locked in early, so there's the physical damage component we're looking for to balance out all the magic damage that Rumble does. It will mean that EnVy are unlikely to have a true tank. I think a tank support is as good as they can get here, but EnVy setting themselves up well again. Strong laners, able to really snowball a game and break it open, and now Svenskeren actually going to get his turn on Lee Sin with a number of junglers open.
Yeah, it doesn't want to get banned too far down, and I think that this is a solid pick, but I'm not even sure if EnVy would have banned it away from him. I mean, he's good on the Elise. There's still a lot of other options available. Either way, they don't want to take that risk, and he will be able to try his hand on the other side of the matchup.
Well, worked out well last time around. TSM going to ban Talon away as their first one, so looks like Ninja is the target they have in mind for these next few bans. I mean, it's kind of interesting in that EnVy have shown a lot of preference towards taking out some of Bjergsen's stronger champions, so in some ways you get to double up, but I like this switch actually from EnVy, taking out top laners now.
Yeah, I mean, we heard about it on the desk. I think Bjergsen is one of those players that, while you can ban out counter matchups, that makes sense. If you're just kind of blanket trying to attack him in draft, it almost always fails because he has such a deep champion pool.
And TSM are actually doing the same, banning out Malzahar as their next one, so taking a strong, straightforward support from Hakuho, and he has shown a lot of preference and prowess on the champion. Syndra's the last ban there for EnVy, so this is kind of where we are as Phase 2 bans go. Much more target bans, trying to set up your lanes and composition better, but TSM now going to get first pick in Phase 2. And where do they go? I'm guessing they counterpick their mid lane as per usual.
Yeah.
So we'll see what pick they want here for Hauntzer.
You show top lane here pretty much always, as the top lane has already been selected for EnVy, and no real advantage to saving that to last unless there's something super flexible you want to save for yourself. Shen is also up, but Shen does struggle more into the Rumble than the Nautilus does, so they're going to elect to go for a Nautilus, even though I would say Shen is higher priority these days.
Yeah, I think so as well, but Nautilus, very solid and pretty safe champion for a pick here. I love the Renekton ban as a result from EnVy, kind of taking that option away, and there we go, Ahri and Zyra rounding out for Team EnVy, so damage everywhere.
Yeah, a lot of damage coming out of the EnVy comp. I think this is something that can work for them, though. They're going to have a lot of powerful lanes. You can be pushing in the top lane. You have Zyra to help have some dominance there in the bot lane, and I think that Orianna would make sense a lot for Bjergsen here. It works very well in conjunction with both the Lee Sin and the Nautilus, but Viktor is a very stable pick here as well, and going to offer a lot of similar things.
Hard to say exactly why he makes the switch. Maybe worried about the matchup, but I think Viktor brings a lot of the same things, at least, to the mid lane. I mean, not the impact of the ultimate, but still a control major does a lot of AoE damage.
And it is interesting, though, because this is actually a matchup that I'd heard Scar talking about, where he felt like it was very favored towards the Ahri. So this is actually a matchup that he considered very bad for Viktor, and is one of the champions that could be more easily counterpicked. Bjergsen obviously has a different opinion here, or thinks he can just outskill his opponent or kind of safely farm through lane. But we'll see if that can be exploited.
Interesting to see. I mean, Ahri is one of those champions that pretty quickly rising back in the pick order for a lot of these mid laners, but it has been a while since we've seen her. I mean, she only really started getting play in NA last week, I believe.
Yeah.
Froggen, one of the early names that jumps to mind. So I think, you know, teams and players still kind of remembering the Ahri matchups. I mean, I was talking to Jensen, he said it's kind of situational when you can play Ahri, but when she's unlocked, she's very good. I mean, no one gets around a long extended team fight like an Ahri does.
Yeah, it's really strong. And we've seen some different builds from it too. We got to see the Protobell Lichbane that Piglet brought out. That was kind of the faker build that was supposed to be the top secret build from last year that he ever really got to show. But there's that. There is obviously a lot of standard builds that you can go with. And I think Ahri can be a very powerful pick, but it's yet another of these snowbally champions that if you fall behind, you can look pretty worthless.
Certainly can. Well, EnVy and TSM are going to have one more shot in this series. We'll see who takes down game number 3. Don't forget to get the hashtags out there. TSM fans, very loud in game number 2. We'll see if the EnVy fans can bounce that out. But here we are, Summoner's Rift for a final time between EnVy and TSM. And a big change here for TSM. I think EnVy back to strong laners, back to damage, back to looking to get the early game going. Huge priority on this Ashe and Lulu from TSM to start it off, and a much more straightforward team fighting comp for them. This does look like a lot of how they've succeeded this season, but haven't seen that much of particularly this bottom lane in quite a while.
I mean, this is about as standard as you come for TSM as far as top lane tank. You have kind of initiation ADC, initiation type jungler. So that is definitely good for them. And I mean, Sven going in there, I actually think this is so small, but why go in and give him those Spell Thief procs? You're not actually ever going to kill the Zyra in that situation. So him going in, the HP actually doesn't matter, but he gives over a little bit of gold.
Got him, dude.
While it's a very small thing, I think it's a bit of a silly play from Svenskeren.
If he got any more gold, it might have actually been an extra potion. So
yeah,
certainly can see the value there. Svenskeren instead. Get the mental edge. That's what we'll call it.
Asserting his dominance. But they get a couple
I'll
wards.
be back at this Squadron of the Jungle very soon.
They get a couple wards, and they will be able to track out LirA. So we'll see if Svenskeren can get another great jungle start, as he did last game, where he really did outpath LirA early on. And that was a critical difference between game 1 and game 2.
Well, you can see Raptor wards everywhere this time around, and we do have the vision on this side. Hauntzer here, riptiding it up. Not yet, he's going to actually chill out. I actually have his W. Seraph goes checking, gets a ward down. Gonna make sure that, again, tracks Svenskeren. We've seen these two junglers really cover each other well this series.
They did actually take the W because you do get some AoE damage around you anyway, and he can also then tank up that camp for Svenskeren because Lee Sin is a jungler who takes a lot more damage than Graves while doing that camp. So he's gonna soak up some of the damage for him, also help with the leash. Nice little play.
And just gonna chill out, use the shield, getting the last hits down, does slap Seraph. But Hauntzer is expecting to be behind in the early stages of this lane. Rumble, certainly a bully, particularly into the tanks.
And Seraph actually missed half of that wave early on without really being contested at all. And people talk about how difficult it can be to CS on Rumble, but you need to be able to be consistent with that because otherwise, if you're shoving in, you're not actually really getting any advantage if you're not out-farming your opponent. The advantage you're supposed to get is that they have to CS under turret, which is supposed to be harder. But very likely, Hauntzer actually ends up ahead on CS here.
Yeah, and now, I mean, he's got the safer path as well, because really, what jungler except maybe LirA is coming at level 3 for a gank. Instead, he's on the left side, but has the double offs already, going to take down the Gromp and probably just continue farming aggressively.
Yep. The other part of the advantage, obviously, is that you're going to be able to rotate faster to jungle fights and stuff when your opponent is pushed in. So it helps with the jungle pressure, and that is going to be a big reason why he's going to be looking for that.
Gonna have to keep looking out for Sven and LirA. Looks like they're still farming it up as Turtle Biofrost, I think kind of expected with Ashe Lulu, but pushing in pretty early onto that lane.
Yeah, I mean, Ashe just outpushes the Jhin very hard.
It's part of the reason why we saw, actually, I believe this item build. Seeing a lot of longsword potions now, but probably does not want to tussle with the frustrating Ashe in the early parts of the lane. But looks like things are going okay for now. We did see Bjergsen injure very briefly, but nothing too crazy going on there. Very defensive summoner spells between exhaust and heal, so jungler's going to have to make action if we're going to see anything happen here.
They certainly will, and Seraph did place a deep ward over on the Krugs, so will now spot out Svenskeren. This does unlock LirA to kind of look for a play of his own, and for Seraph to actually play a little bit more safely, but sometimes the wards give people this false sense of security and they play a little bit too aggressive around it. So even knowing the Lee Sin is there, Seraph has to show respect.
Well, still pushing up for now. We'll see once Sven is done with his camp if he tries to get aggressive, and you can see Seraph now instantly backing off. Maybe even going to look down and see if the Scuttle Crab's been taken. Just again, get more information and track these junglers. Kind of the name of this early game is a nice dodge from the roots there from Biofrost, going to keep him from taking too much damage.
Another nice little thing about Seraph constantly walking out of the lane there is you don't know where the ward is, right? It's hard to actually track where the trinket ward has been placed when he goes into the bush, then he goes into Tri-Brush, then he walks up by golems. You don't know when he actually placed it, and that makes it harder to gank.
Well, he does take the Scuttle Crab as well, so a bit of extra safety for himself with LirA occupied on the right-hand side of the jungle, farming up there. Going to overheat and flame down that minion wave. Looks like Hauntzer's had enough. Going to go back and get those first early purchases in and TP straight back. Double Dorans, so should be feeling pretty healthy here in the early part of the lane.
Yeah, the double Dorans allows you to push so heavily. It's Sven going in onto Ninja.
Nice charm actually for Ninja, but Sven's going to follow in. Doesn't want to commit. Didn't have quite enough damage to finish the kill, but does get the flash out of Ninja. That's good early pressure.
Yeah, really good early pressure there. More than I thought they might get. And both of them still had their flashes available, but they didn't want to risk committing into that and having it be turned around by an exhaust.
LirA also likely in the area as he's actually here now helping Ninja push out. So smart from TSM to play it a little safer.
Yeah, and Sven is trying to use this time to actually take away some jungle camps or look to set up a dive because Seraph hasn't even based yet, and he is getting chunked out. He's definitely in a lot of danger here.
Now the Flame Suit is going to run out. I think Seraph's in a lot of trouble. Going to start to tank this up. Svenskeren already getting the damage down. Hauntzer managed to tank the turret, and first blood goes to Lee Sin.
Gets punished for that super late base. He was trying to stick around, pick up those minion waves. Hauntzer had already backed. Seraph does not. Gets punished again. That's, I think, 3 out of 3 games that he is actually the first blood.
Certainly that's what the action's been. Yeah, you're right.
3 out of 3 games.
I mean, one of them with assistance in game 1, a solo in the second, and now I'm going to say almost solo in this one. Sven with good timing here, but Seraph just didn't need to be here.
Yeah, I mean, and Seraph once you're poked down, once he's already in this situation, there's essentially no escape. He does do his best to survive it, but really the key is to have already based or to have your jungler covering you there because he had not spent up any of that gold, and once again, at a disadvantage.
Well, Haunting Guys was picked up, but down CS to a Nautilus is not what you want to be as the Rumble. Looks like mid lane has returned Ninja with a Senpai Crystal and a Negatron Cloak versus double Dorans and cooldown boots there for Bjergsen. So feeling some of the pressure here in the mid lane. Likely if LirA comes, I mean, that's a huge amount of burst damage if Ahri can land that first charm.
Yeah, it really is. And Bjergsen, I do like when you play double combat summoners like Ghost Flash or Flash Heal. Lucidity Boots are quite powerful. Having the reduced summoner cooldown there, Seraph moving in.
Sven playing around. Just does get some poke onto Seraph and then dashes back to a ward. But again, Envy kind of grouping these three together. Although Flash Hook's going to land in onto Seraph. Follow-up's going to land in. Bjergsen does have the ulti down. Seraph likely going down a bit. Sven's actually the first one to go. Ninja and LirA just did too much damage. And now Hauntzer might be caught out on the front side. Ninja still has ulti, and Bjergsen actually has his as well. But Ninja will be able to dash off to safety.
Yeah, good trade of kills there, back and forth. But more should be lost from this by Envy, simply because the wave is kind of crashing in. We'll see if Hauntzer can actually get back up there to push it in before they do reset with the teleport. But Seraph overheating. Svenskeren decides he wants to go in for this kill with Hauntzer. Nice hook coming out. But really, the biggest thing is the Equalizer gets a lot of damage. And the fact that Svenskeren is kind of the front one up there, tanking the charm from Ninja and then the ultimate and everything from Graves, means he goes down very quickly as well. I mean, he's not tanky at all at this point.
No, certainly not. Just has the Warhammer currently. So Svenskeren will pick up a death in the game, but TSM still up 2-1 in kills. They have a slim gold lead of 500. Good combo there from Envy's bottom lane. Getting damage on the Biofrost.
And critically for Seraph, the wave didn't actually end up crashing. Hauntzer was not able to get up back up top and push it in, so he's able to collect that, not fall too much further behind, but they will end up with a TP disadvantage, as Hauntzer is going to be coming up pretty soon.
Also, probably walking back to lane at this point. Actually has to, because he doesn't have teleport. Never mind.
Could wait, you know?
He could.
Wouldn't be a good idea,
chill out for 20
but
seconds. Hawkshot going to get good view of Envy's jungle as well. And looks like WildTurtle with that BF sword, feeling pretty good about the lane, but TSM again, playing a bit more conservatively, knowing that Ashe will scale nicely into the mid and late game, so no need to take risks. particularly with the damage of Zyra Jhin.
The bot lane has felt very, very even really throughout the series. It feels like these guys are battling back and forth pretty well. But it's not been the story, right? Junglers have been focusing heavily on the solo lanes. Top laners have been explosive. Mid laners have been explosive.
Also, solving the CS puzzle there. Does manage to take them all. And I like the early Merc treads. That's what I think about it.
The CS puzzle. I like it.
I watch people CS on Twitter. I'm like, how do they do that? I'm like, oh, they're better than me. It's Bjergsen does get exhausted by Ninja. LirA, though, going to answer back. Bjergsen going to run forward and try and get a trade. Flashes on top of him and dives to LirA. The arrow did land, but it's a little late.
Yeah, that flash, a little bit optimistic, trying to get out there. Nice collapse. Seraph making another roam, and this is something he has been consistently doing. As Turtle getting opened up on.
Oh, Roots barely missed.
That was so close. It nipped the brain in the butt.
Turtle dodges down every time, but no vision there from Envy. They're not able to complete any sort of poke or kill. Turtle survives. Does have his summoners up as well, so he's feeling very safe. Bjergsen not so much. Loses both there. Does manage to go down after the nice gank from Envy, who are even the game back up both in kills and gold. And again, it's been a pretty tense third game here. No one really opening up an early game lead as we have now pushed past 10 minutes.
And they're dead even. The teams in the early game have seemed pretty well matched. The question becomes if TSM is stabilized, can Envy match them through the mid game and through the late game with vision control, with rotations? And that's the question that Envy has never been able to really answer this season.
Certainly not answered convincingly. Yeah. You know, have managed, certainly can take games where they're ahead, have shown some better moments in games even when they're behind, but TSM are just such a solid, consistent team, particularly when it comes to moving around the map, and TSM kind of show a little bit of that here. Going to take down this Cloud Drake. LirA is very far behind, at least around the objectives, so that's an easy pick up there for Svenskeren.
Yep, Cloud Dragon will go the way of TSM. Always nice to grab, but not one of those ones where teams feel like it's the end of the world, especially if you can trade it back for something. So we'll see if Envy can now make some moves out on the map and try to get something back.
LirA has snuck in here, I believe. Oh no, there he is. Never mind, off to mid lane. I thought he was in the bottom lane. I was wrong. Turtle instead is going to clear out the creeps, and now LirA may be looking for something here.
Yeah, I mean, Seraph roaming right down to mid lane over and over, and this is just even creating implied pressure. Always having to worry about where he is and if he's going to be diving Bjergsen in the mid lane. So Hauntzer will be able to follow, and that is something nice with the Cloud Dragon, going to allow him to do that a little bit more quickly.
I like the pressure from Envy in general. Again, being proactive with their picks, kind of knowing that they would like to snowball a bit further, both for their kind of team's personal style, but also with the picks that they've got here. A lot of damage can be built up quickly and get out of control. Svenskeren eats the charm and the poke damage from the Orb of Deception, but Ninja busy with the wave, so can't really continue on that. Svenskeren does manage to clear out the ward and actually get a second control ward here as well. TSM looking to blind Envy. And again, try and just react to a lot of the aggression that Envy is showing here.
And LirA camping out here. They have a ward on Biofrost.
Biofrost, that doesn't look good. That's a kill. Apollo takes him down.
TP coming in now. They're going to try to continue this play, but TSM is retreating back, and this may be Envy just going straight up for the first turret bot lane.
Just flashed in for it, and Hakuho going to get the flash roots. He will miss, but LirA gets the kill instead. Quick draws for a bit of extra damage on the board, so now Envy going to run to the turret.
Seraph should honestly just be basing now. His teleport got nothing, and the longer he waits, great, you're getting a Gromp, but you're going to lose everything on the top side. And he's accomplishing nothing down here, so he needs to base, get back up there, and start collecting these minions, but instead, looks like he's going to take the long walk up.
Ooh, so it's good. Oh no, he doesn't get the whoop, does auto it down, and it might cost him his life. Svenskeren going to fight in, kicks him back forward into the Nautilus ultimate. It's going to fall, and they need a little bit more damage, but Seraph flashes forward and takes down Sven. Now Hook is going to get flashed by Ninja. Good reactions. And Seraph, going to get slowed in by the gravity field. Whimsy down, Lulu roamed in here as well. TSM looking for mid lane.
They are going to be able to get some damage down there, but they don't have the minion wave to actually push out that turret. And this is a really nice move around the map from Envy. They're lying in wait over the wall. They have it warded out. A good animation canceling there from LirA. And WildTurtle just can't really do much to actually get out here. Once you're tagged at all, you're so slow that LirA was always going to be able to run him down, commits the flash, and even with the juke here, he's right on top of you.
Yeah, LirA, more than enough damage to finish off the job. So Envy will go up in kills and kind of getting themselves there in gold. Actually looking good with 2,000 gold ahead. I mean, TSM have a Drake, so they've got kind of an objective that we can't really count as far as a pure gold value goes. The EnVy, again, starting to play a bit more proactive. We had a subdued early game, but EnVy now leaping back into action exactly where their team wants to be.
And exactly where you want LirA to be, because this is the guy who feels like he's the one making the plays for the team, moving around the map and dictating the pace of the game. 2-0-2 rather on that Graves, and up a level, looking good.
Dominating the early parts of the game now that we've kind of opened things back up, and Hauntzer, again, wanting to play back. He's got a good CS lead. Seraph has consistently been leaving lane, but now another dive is potentially being prepped here. We've got a charm missing on the Biofrost, but also LirA and Hakuho here. The roots are already down, but Hauntzer is pretty tanky.
And Ninja has the ultimate to escape, but he does need to start leaving. This is showing very little respect to TSM, knowing they could be over here, but he will be fine. And
Garen kicks him, jukes the charm as well. Oh, now Sven going to go back in, actually trying to complete the play. Arrow isn't going to land. But Biofrost there to make sure Sven gets out.
But still, EnVy faster on the play. They're actually going to take down the turret here on the top side. TSM will answer, but it's EnVy who could look to try to rotate this around the mid side. They have the Jhin ultimate available. That you can use to try to push back Bjergsen and do something there. We'll see if they go for it.
Ooh, Ninja chums the Krug up. Svenskeren sticking around maybe a little too long, but does get the big one. Smites it down, and Ninja just again going to take the wave instead.
I feel like I still have yet to see Ninja use his exhaust this entire game, which is a little bizarre. I mean, there's been some very close fights. You know, you don't always want to use it on someone like Lee Sin who's jumping in on you, but it can really let you turn some stuff around. So being very patient with it and perhaps a little bit too patient.
Yeah, just once on the gank for LirA, but that was pretty much, he used it to guarantee the kills. So definitely being conservative there. But Bjergsen not feeling too much pressure. Up on CS, got those upgrades coming in. That's at 2 now. And now blue buff, so things looking good on that side. But again, EnVy can really open up this game if they can find a few more spots. They're up in turrets. TSM out left playing a little more reactively, which they'll be comfortable with as well, given that the lead isn't too far up. But Seraph got that first item. And again, TSM still kind of looking for some scaling and setting up that one big team fight.
And they still have the ability to be proactive with their plays because of the champions that they have. So even though they have to give respect to the fact that EnVy is strong now, you have Ashe Arrow, you have Engage from Nautilus, you have lots of ways in to look for picks if EnVy ever steps out of bounds.
Well, Hauntzer going to take the wave and make his way back. Ocean Drake up in 25 seconds, so it could be our next point of action. And again, Svenskeren hanging behind his lanes, making sure LirA can't get too much done. I feel like Sven set up quite a number of counter-gank positions this game just to make sure the lane stays safe. And CS-wise, they are looking good. Bot lane's even, but they've got leads for Hauntzer and for Bjergsen. And again, TSM are just a team that are never really in a rush.
No, and so much of competitive jungling is looking for those counter ganks and anticipating where your opponents are, but EnVy looking for the fight.
Actually walks straight into Seraph. LirA coming down as well.
Oh, he flashed the equalizer.
The equalizer was laid out nicely. Bjergsen might be able to get away. He's going to try and turn it back onto Seraph, and that will let him live. Wild Growth committed from Lulu, but now LirA going to beat the stun from the Ashe Arrow. Sven tags him as well, but he burns a heal, and Sven follows in. Hauntzer's here as well. Sven barely gets himself out as Ninja managed to get him out over the wall with the dash. TSM still trying to chase down a kill for themselves. A 1-for-1 trade so far, but Apollo firing back with the flourishes, and TSM can't quite find a second.
No, just barely able to get out. Key that Bjergsen was able to survive. Seraph didn't quite have his flash to follow and finish it off, and then LirA stepping too far forward, looking to close out that kill. But the fight is not over yet as TSM want to force around Dragon, and this could be risky.
Hakuho caught. That's going to be good damage onto the Zyra. Good flank from Seraph, but he's got no ultimate. Bjergsen going to try and keep it out. Burning him down. Bjergsen actually is going to fall. Seraph able to get the kill. That's a crit onto Lulu to take it down, but Turtle is just going to take him down. The tank and the AD carry are enough for TSM.
The power of the Nautilus team fight there at the end. Not enough damage to clean him up. So low on HP, but Jhin was caught reloading.
0 to 3 kills for WildTurtle. Picks up the triple. And now should have his next power item as we watch this one again. EnVy wanted to stop this trade.
Yeah, they definitely did. And this was going to be, a numbers advantage for EnVy as Seraph can just TP back in with that flank. He's high on health, but he flashes in, gets exhausted, and commits a lot of the damage here. And the key thing is Turtle, free firing in the back line. And as Apollo's reloading, they go forward. Ninja doesn't really have anything left. And Turtle able to get a quick triple.
A little too much for EnVy, I think. Just knowing, with no cooldowns, kind of tough to contest in that spot. TSM turned it around instantly, and despite losing their mid laner, Turtle able to pick it all up. He's now got a rune and Hurricane to go in with his BF sword and his pickaxe, and Infinity Edge shouldn't be too far away for the man.
Nope, but that said, the Dragon never went down, and it's actually LirA starting it up, but he has been spotted out on a ward in a dangerous spot.
Misses the arrow, but that should be enough. Kick back in from Svenskeren. See you later. And the Jhin ulti, Hauntzer's going to tank it and then walk out of the rest of the cone.
And now they have no chance to actually contest, as that was the Jhin ultimate, the equalizer, your jungler is dead. They should just back off and accept this.
Maybe even shove down me, get some damage there. Ooh, shut down! Good pick on the turtle by Ninja, but Drake's still over to TSM.
It looks like they're sticking around. They still want to try to get something done.
Svenskeren a little too far forward. Good ult there from Hakuho. Going to set it up. He actually knocks up a couple there, I think, but Seraph is flame spittering away. Apollo now knocked up as well. Hooked in by Hauntzer, and Biofrost should be able to run back in and finish it off. Bjergsen with the ultimate able to get it down.
Ninja and Ninja still dueling.
Are still going in. Hook should be there. Hauntzer's going to walk up. Ninja forced to flash away. Charm is going to buy him a little bit more time, but Hauntzer is just not done. Lumbering forward on the Nautilus. Caught up again, but he's still moving forward with the Mercury. Misses the hook finally, and the play ends.
Ninja dodging everything there. Sidestepping a couple Qs from the Lee Sin, gets out of the hook there too.
Nice play there from Ninja to keep himself alive. Hauntzer tried to save the hook for as long as possible, but Turtle, oh, that feels bad.
Yeah, nice charm over the wall to start things off for Ninja. And it was a great flank. This is really the only thing that allows them to even start into this fight, but still, they're relatively low on sustained DPS without the equalizer and without the Graves. So despite that good start, the fight still goes the way of TSM, and they get the Dragon.
Yeah, again, kind of the power of Nautilus plus whatever carry is around.
Yeah.
Really showing how strong TSM can be, even in these scrappier moments. Ninja just keeps dodging. Again, kind of weaving back around. And Hauntzer, he's just waiting for the perfect time to hook, and he never finds it.
No, he never is able to really get it. Nice sidestep there from Ninja. And then Nautilus, his tankiness is just kind of emphasized and increased even more when paired with a Lulu. It becomes so tough to take this guy down, and getting a tank fed in a game like this is actually one of the most important members to have it.
Well, 3-0-5 for Hauntzer, so he's on the way to becoming super big boy Nautilus. LirA going to clear out this control ward though, as Envy trying to get some vision around the Baron area. It's still early, but knowing Drake to contest for, given that the last Ocean just went over to TSM, so Envy trying to take control of the important side of the map at this stage. Going to clear out some vision, and might like the mid lane turret if they can get there as well. So setting themselves up for a nice little push. Seraph's going to go back, but Envy now going to group as 4 and try and siege down the turret.
We'll be able to push up here pretty quickly, but TSM should be in position to actually wave clear this out. With the Viktor, it's so easy. One laser, you drop the gravity field, you group them all up, and just like that, the wave is gone. So it's very tough to actually siege into the Viktor, but Hauntzer may be caught out here pretty far from his team. Envy not feeling confident to commit.
Hauntzer just like, we'll figure it out. Eating Jhin bullets, anchors away to a bit of terrain, and still has quite a lot of health left. I mean, like you said, getting a tank fed in this game is a big problem actually for Envy, and Hauntzer already with only almost 2 items completed. I think he's got enough for the Spirit Visage now, as he is going to go back, but I mean, Hauntzer is getting unassailable at this point. I mean, just how much damage he's getting caught there in the mid lane should show you that in team fights, Hauntzer should be able to take over here as long as TSM have their carries alive.
Yeah, a lot of it is going to come down to LirA. Like, he is actually one of the high consistent damage members of Envy, because Jhin is not a tank killer, especially when you're going for lethality. So a lot of that burden is going to fall on LirA, going to fall on Seraph.
Well, LirA gets tagged by a Lee Sin Q. Apollo busy clearing out the minions so they don't attack his turret. TSM are just whittling down that turret in mid lane here. And like you saw already, wave clear mid laners are very good at defending their turrets. Bjergsen goes back, gets himself a crystal, and most importantly, an abyssal scepter. So starting to power up. He's got the perfect hex core completed as well. Turtle just going to push out one more wave. Does have enough coverage here to spot Envy coming up to try and gank him, so feels safe to get that pushing towards it. And again, TSM, they're still done in turrets, but the gold is pretty much back to even, and they're just not in a rush. Eventually, at some point, the pressure builds up. They feel confident enough to take a fight or take a moment if Envy make a mistake and just break open the game from the middle.
Yeah, and they definitely have the ability to do that, but Envy also have some very powerful team fighting, and the potential to get those picks with Ninja, if it's an even fight, can go very heavily their way. So TSM has to show the respect. You can see Turtle lurking in the back a little bit, waiting to perhaps look for an arrow.
Well, TSM actually grouped up. They're going to try and force the issue now. Hook on LirA's really good kickback from Sven. Hauntzer on a rampage as Lulu knocked up, but Hauntzer going to block the rest of the Jhin bullets. I mean, a big TP from Seraph as Ninja look for the flank.
Great
good
equalizer.
Bjergsen going to try and stand and deliver, but Hauntzer blocking the rest out. Again, just soaking so much here.
Yeah, without the Graves, where's the consistent
damage? Another hook onto Seraph as well. Now Bjergsen gets a next kill. TSM looking a little low. Hauntzer gets the wild growth to keep himself alive, but TSM got 2 kills out of that one.
They just do not have the consistent DPS without LirA alive, and even with a great equalizer from Seraph softening so many of the members up, Apollo cannot go forward into a team like this. He will die so fast. So good play from TSM. They commit the cooldowns and they kick in LirA for an easy kill. And this is really well done. Hook, there's the kick in into the Ashe arrow. No chance for LirA.
Super clean from Svenskeren, still showing off that Lee Sin. I mean, Seraph TP'd very early to try and turn this one around, but TSM reacted well here as well.
Yeah, they reacted very well, and despite the great equalizer, what is Ninja really getting done with that ultimate? He's kind of having to use it defensively. None of the damage is onto the back line. Hauntzer can soak up most of this with the protection of Biofrost, and then they just do not have the DPS to finish off a fight like that. So they need to be careful, not get picked, but TSM has so many utilities to try to set that up.
Well, it's only going to get tougher. Haunter has 2,500 gold to go spend. Oof. He's back shopping. There's a Spirit Visage, and there's an Aegis. Love the pick up there.
Yeah, I think the Aegis makes so much sense. He's the highest level member, one of the highest in the game. So when you complete that locket, the shield is that much larger and really eliminates so much of the AoE damage coming out of EnVy.
Able to help out there in team fights because TSM have been kind of handily winning a lot of these exchanges. Ocean Drake is up as well, so going to force the issue again. EnVy, do they feel confident maybe trying for a fight here? Because the straight up fights have not gone their way. I mean, Ninja might need to get into a flank position, but he's not there right now. Drake goes down, TSM collect it. And EnVy have to, again, play defensively once again.
Yeah, they're just backing off those. They can't really contest them because TSM is always the ones first to the punch. They're getting there earlier, and they have this really tough front-to-back composition that you have to deal with, where EnVy is playing this full DPS comp, and unless your ADs are very strong, you don't want your Ahri committing the damage to try to kill a Nautilus. That's not going to be a fight that works out for you. And Seraph, if he's sitting, hitting Hauntzer, then he's easy pickings for Bjergsen and WildTurtle, so it's so tough.
That's there from Svenskeren, just threads a Q in at the last second to cancel Seraph's recall while he's busy taking the Krugs. Hauntzer got the lane pushing down in bottom as well, so just waiting around, gonna hit the recall button and go home, but that's also pressure that EnVy have to answer. Blue buff gonna go over to Ninja, so that's nice there for the Ahri, but Baron is starting to become an objective that teams can look to take, and we've even seen them when one of TSM's carries dies, the other one is usually enough with the Nautilus to try and take the rest of the fight, so EnVy got to do a lot of work here.
They really do. Nice sidestep from Ninja, but we'll have to commit the ultimate here.
Can't dodge everything, but does ulti to get himself out.
And worth pointing out, it's actually a banner of command pickup from Hauntzer. So because he's going up against this AP laner in the side wave, he's going to try to create a massive amount of additional pressure with this. And TSM already forcing down one turret, taking that gold lead.
I mean, Jhin certainly has trouble killing a Baroned up cannon as well. So I'm excited for the potential siege for TSM. But Haunter instead is going to clear these waves out. For now, again, EnVy still within grasp for this game. Just need to not lose too much more here. TSM only up still 2,000 gold or so. 3 Drakes is very nice though. The double Ocean's going to help out, especially in any sort of protracted fight or siege. But I think TSM, they've kind of filled the outer ring. They have to be looking to set up these side lanes and probably just continue moving forward and pressure onto this Baron. Yeah,
one of the big things to remember in a game like this is, despite the gold lead being very close, I think the composition is so much easier to execute for TSM that gives them a significant advantage, on top of it. If you look at how they have to play the fights, they have a very simple front-to-back team composition. EnVy needs to get great flanks. They need to have Ninja assassinating someone, pulling off all these big things where Hauntzer essentially just walks forward, hits whoever's in front of him, and they have all these pickoff tools and consistent DPS to back that up.
Yep, I mean, total Infinity Edge is done. He's got a Hex Drinker and a BF Sword as well, so he's scaling up well. Looks like a Lich Bane next for Bjergsen, so a lot of additional damage when he completes that item. Does have the Sheen right now. Actually going to go back. We'll see if he does have the item completed already. As TSM are starting to set things up for what looks like that first strong move onto a big objective. Baron's, again, the immediate one that comes to mind. Bjergsen has not finished the Lich Bane, so the pure DPS is there as Hakuho steals the Blast Cone.
It's really scary when there's that much damage as Ninja. Even if you find the angle onto Turtle, there's no guarantee you don't just get popped by Bjergsen when you go in, or get caught by an Ashe arrow and die. Especially with Hex Drinker getting completed, lots of MR across the board. The options are getting kind of slimmer and slimmer for Ninja.
We'll see if EnVy can find a pick that they need to really get this game going in the right direction for them. Because as it is, they're kind of just spinning their wheels, hoping that something happens. Apollo anchored to mid lane. Bjergsen continually pushing that down and pressuring it. Hauntzer is always down bottom lane getting that started out, and he's 2 levels up on Seraph as well.
And while TSM is looking certainly very in control and now looking for that pick onto Seraph, I think they're going to get it.
Yeah, I mean, ulti here for Hauntzer just going to start it off. Seraph does have his flash. He's got his ulti with the hook lands in. Bjergsen should be able to complete the rest of his damages there. There's the Q and just zaps him down.
Yeah, why even flash? I mean, don't even have a Zonias. There's no way you're getting out of that. EnVy cannot respond on the other side of the map, so now they're going to lose pressure there too. And Seraph has no playmaking ability for the next fight that he's going to go into without that flash, so that just makes it even tougher. But you know, EnVy at least is hanging around. They have not crumbled, and we're 30 minutes into the game. They're playing one of the best teams in the league.
Yeah, certainly looking good, but how long can they hold on for? TSM, they get the kill. They're trying to get pressure onto mid lane, but fading back towards the Baron. Svenskeren going to clear this vision out, and EnVy have a tough decision to make. They've got the speed train there. That Scuttle Crab has been taken by them, so that will buy them valuable seconds of vision around that objective, but not going to last forever. And TSM, again, happy to bide their time. They get one pick, they find an opportunity, but they don't overcommit. There's nothing they can easily get, so they think, you know what, we're going to look for it next time, making sure that they kind of find the perfect angle, because they know if they mess up, EnVy can actually get this game firmly back in their control, or even likely take a lead at this point.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, this gold lead is almost nothing 30 minutes into the game, right? If you blow a fight 30 minutes into the game, it's usually Baron or a major objective, as long as it's a relatively secure teamfight win. So TSM definitely has to show respect. They're playing it safe, they're playing it smart, and they're waiting for these guaranteed wins. Just keep taking them as you can get them. You're going to have Hauntzer bullying Seraph. He's quite a bit ahead, especially with the banner. That's always going to draw some pressure, and then TSM can get odd number of fights elsewhere on the map or look to take control of the Baron.
Yep, 35 seconds to the next Cloud Drake as Seraph. Oh no. Oh no. He did take those. That's actually the smart thing to do. Gonna have the cannon creeps do all the work for him. I mean, he couldn't do anything to that creep.
I mean, it'll eventually go down, but it does buy you a lot of time. And actually, you get the gold for the minions it kills too. So that's pretty nice for Hauntzer. He's just getting that bonus income elsewhere on the map. He's already gotten over 300 gold.
Arrow misses there. Teleport in for EnVy.
Oh, they canceled that. Now TSM's gonna go straight to the Baron. That's brutal TP from Seraph, and that should gift over the Baron to TSM. We'll see if EnVy can make a play.
I mean, EnVy are trying to fight them on the Baron instead, but Hauntzer locked up in the front. Ninja already eating poke. Gym bullets aren't bad. The Redemption's going to reset the fight here for TSM.
They have bought enough time that Seraph has been able to walk up, but TSM is still on this Baron. Equalizer is available. This is getting very risky now for TSM with all the AoE.
Didn't blow too many cooldowns. There's a flash from Ninja again, keeping track of what they've gotten here. EnVy just going to buy their time, but TSM are threatening this Baron. They've actually got decent tanks here, so EnVy have to do something sooner rather than later.
Yeah, they really do, but I mean, TSM is taking poke from the Baron, and it's not going down fast because their attention is split, so they will have to back off, and at least EnVy does not lose anything off of that TP. TSM still has a teleport advantage though, and still could look to collapse on this and start a fight.
Well, they're going to get themselves a mid lane turret, so EnVy actually gets something out of that exchange in the bottom side, but Hauntzer, he will have the TP as the rest of the play continues. There's a Drake up as well for TSM, so they're likely going to get that with EnVy having to recall. And they did get some summoners. I mean, TSM have everything available. All summoners and all ultimates still ready to commit to an engage, and they should be able to use these windows to find a way to really bust open the game.
Yeah, they got Ninja's flash, they got the TP from Seraph. We'll see if they can actually execute. It was a canceled TP, so the cooldown is much faster. But TSM will grab their 4th straight Dragon of the game, and those are going to be the only ones available. There's no chance of EnVy stacking them up for the Elder, which is forthcoming.
Yeah, and that Elder buff is going to be good amounts of damage from TSM with 4 Drakes now in their pocket. Double Cloud, Double Ocean. Not the fanciest of Drakes, but you'll take them.
No, they're not the late game ones, really. And as TSM, you know, that is obviously a little bit frustrating. You'd prefer Mountains and Infernals in the super late game, but still the regen is useful, and moving around the map with the Cloud can be pretty important in the later stages.
Well, especially if Hauntzer's going to continue that side lane pressure. Looks like the banner minion is up to his old tricks. It's now on cooldown. Hauntzer's going to get that wave pushing down. Again, rejoin the team. TSM kind of know what they're up to. Total's got a lot of gold to spend. Over 2,000, actually approaching 2,500. Now EnVy actually get a chance around the Baron.
I wonder if Turtle's going to go for a blood. Okay, so it is. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Is this is the more defensive option. You could grab an Essence Reaver for some more offensive power with the additional CDR, but he doesn't really need it. He just needs to be able to stay alive and put out consistent DPS. So with Hexdrinker plus the Bloodthirster, he's even harder to take down. And that in combination with Biofrost protecting him feels really hard to see the backline from TSM getting taken out.
Yeah, Bjergsen got more than enough kind of upfront damage to make that happen.
That was a misclick.
Interesting redemption.
Yeah, that was definitely a misclick. He was trying to ward there, I do believe, and dropped his redemption instead.
Well, looks pretty. TSM might wait out for that next cooldown, but not too long on the active item there. And TSM happy to pressure instead. Again, they've got bottom lane building. Mr. Minion should be down there. Yep, he's ready to go. Shooting away, earning Hauntzer a bit more gold.
But no one can go down to answer it, right? Seraph didn't have his TP until just now, and he struggles to answer it anyway, and they're feeling the pressure around this side of the map, so no one is there. TSM just needs to wait, because this minion wave will kill the turret.
And also, everyone's waiting in a brush. Ahri gonna miss again. Ulti out actually committed onto Seraph. TSM gonna be without their Nautilus cooldown.
Still, this is fine for them. The tier 2 turret should be going down for TSM pretty soon, as that massive bot lane wave is working away on that turret, and they're going to get something for their efforts, even with those missed ultimates.
Cooldown not super long either for Hauntzer, so the Winions, Seraph is going to shut it down.
But now they can force TP. It dies anyway, and now they can pressure on Baron. TSM can start it up, get that TP out. We'll see if they look for it or they look for the fight.
Charm going to miss down to Bjergsen. Ninja trying something there. Apollo again just firing back away. EnVy staying back from any initiation.
All right, so they clear the wave, and they now stop any chance of EnVy pushing up for this tier 2 turret, and they're already on to Baron with that Bloodthirster. They're starting it off. Does EnVy actually know? They have one little ward in there, but they didn't clear it intelligently for TSM, so there's no way they know about this, and it's going to be too late.
Yeah, Controller just shuts it down, and now the rest of TSM group in. Baron goes over, and now Hauntzer in the front lines again.
EnVy win the fight.
Trying to take it down. Hauntzer actually taking a little too much damage as the equalizer's down, but Hauntzer walks off it. TSM is going to back away together. Ninja commits the charm and tries to get back in there, but look at the shields there. As the Zyra ultimate goes in, knocks up Hauntzer, but there's just too much. Wildgrove finally committed and he gets shut down. Svenskeren charmed as well, gets a double kill for Apollo, but Hakuho leaps into the front line and goes down to Bjergsen.
2 for 1 there for EnVy, but it's a Baron for TSM. Positive trade for them overall, unless EnVy can get something more done. But they're actually looking for the chase down here onto Seraph with that double cloud.
Turtle's got the arrow, looking for a fight. Seraph snipes him and kills him.
Oh, it's rare you see the Ashe arrow get that kill. And TSM is pushing straight down mid lane. They have the core of their team alive, and they're going to be able to get a lot of damage down.
Good translation here for TSM. Goes straight down mid, joining the wave with their Baron buff. Don't overcommit, knowing they can regroup together and try and take down the inhibitor turrets, but TSM kind of widening the gap in this game again.
And TSM did a good job of setting this up. They controlled vision for so long around the Baron, then they do not even commit all their members to going for the fight. And Hauntzer is pretty far up and getting chunked down and taken out. But it takes so much time and so many resources for EnVy that it's like, okay, how do you now get to the back line and really take down Bjergsen and really get through to finish off the fight? And it's very difficult because you need to commit resources to kill Hauntzer, but then you don't have them for the rest.
Yeah, you can see that TSM were able to trade well. Turtle actually evens up the fight. Nice snipe here onto Seraph.
Good shot there onto Seraph to clean up another kill.
Interesting redemption, actually. Yeah. I realized that was TSM. I was like, I guess Biofrost maybe for some vision, trying to get the kill.
Yeah, it just came back off cooldown. He's like, why not?
Just in case, I'll use it. Well, TSM still with Baron up for a minute 30. Looking around at those inhibitor turrets, wanting to take
an ulti onto
Bjergsen needs to keep running. Gets out of the way.
2 major ultimates down. Doesn't even blow a summoner there, so he's fine. Just walks straight out, and not much gained. And that's the difficulty of using the Rumble ultimate without CC. You know, if you have Rumble with Braum or whatever, you layer that up, that's great, but most of the time people just walk instantly right out of it if there's not CC.
Yeah, you can see TSM now starting to see a drop. Hauntzer has already got this minion going, and this will be tough for EnVy to kill.
Yeah, and where's the threat? Where's the return fire coming out? They know Equalizer is down, so TSM can just force this, and Ninja gets caught.
Oh, good hook there as well. Torrent falls down, and there's a kickback for Sven. Kill goes over. Knockup's pretty good from the Zyra ulti, but Bjergsen going to chase him down with the ulti. Hook again, landing onto LirA. TSM surging pushing forward, going to try and take the game. LirA barely living as he gets back to the fountain, but Redemption is going to heal TSM back up.
And I think that's going to be it, despite a couple members still alive. TSM has far too much, should be able to clean it up.
Hauntzer and his giant cannon may be able to fire away for TSM. The wild growth, a giant Titan on the Rift as TSM slay the Nexus and take down Envy.
Hauntzer was huge, figuratively and literally, in this game. 5-1-8, really took over. I think he deserves so much credit for this series. Played extremely well, games 2, games 3, and was critical for their win.
Certainly stepping up. He's been talking about it. He wants to, be one of the best players in the world. Really show that he can be a world-class top laner. Certainly domestically, he's been looking up, and Impact gonna have that spot challenge. I think Impact's still on top for recency and performances last year, but I mean, TSM and Cloud9 will meet at some point again before spring is over, and that's gonna be another matchup to watch here. Envy, a good showing. Game 1 looked great from them, but the same problems keep coming up for them. Look good early, but can't really convert. And even in this game, it was much more subdued, and Envy just felt like they couldn't find a way in once the mid-game hit.
They really did have some very significant errors. When you look at the top lane, 3 Rumble picks for Seraph, 3 times he gets first blooded. There's a solo kill in there. The second one, he's getting completely run down by Hauntzer all game long. I mean, Hauntzer is almost 80 CS up at the end of the game, had better pressure, had better presence in lane, better team fighting, and Hauntzer really just looked like he outclassed Seraph throughout the series.
Yeah, I think just showing a lot the individual play. We know he's in more of a voice, so some strong shot calling there for Hauntzer. I mean, good landing, good team fighting, but even itemization. I know that's something that we do overlook sometimes, but that banner of command was actually pretty genius. LirA ulted as Graves to try and kill that powered up cannon minion, because obviously magic damage can't do anything to it, but I mean, that Hauntzer and that minion pretty much soloed the rest of the base.
Yeah, I mean, it was super strong. I think it makes a lot of sense. You used to see this sometimes into Vladimir and things like that. Even Nautilus mid was a thing for a little bit where you saw that built, but it's smart. There's not a lot of auto attack damage that's going to be in the lane clearing it out for him.
And again, we see it a lot into Ezreal, because Ezreal can't really do anything but fire mystic shots. You just stand your big tank in front of it, and like, what is he going to do? Jhin, kind of similar. Although he's not really going to get up in range to shoot it, he's going to die.
Yeah, that's the case for sure. And TSM, they avoid the loss. Obviously, not going to be, I think, a game that they're completely happy with, as it was a 2-1.
Wait for those tweets.
Yeah,
they're coming.
It was against one of the worst teams in the league, and they're trying to be one of the best, not only in North America but in the world. So they're striving for perfection. For Envy, they can take some positives away from the fact that they kept it close and at least took one game off TSM.
Well, we'll see what happens here. But now for more on that TSM victory, we're going to check in with Jet and TSM support.